Hi guys, MINTSAUZ again. Giving it to you, premium fashion. All right. Anyway, you guys have seen this background 1,000 times. I'm at Luna today, and my guest is private chef extraordinaire KWAME AMFO. I can't wait to meet him. So I have to get off his couch before he comes. I'll see you guys when Kwame is here. I'm at Luna with the Kwame Bishop. So today's series is on a private chef. He not so much as a restaurant owner, but on a private chef series. So we're gonna get to know you a little bit. I know you, so tell them who you are. What do you do? You know, when you're not hopping on plane.
Charlie. Okay, so as you already know, my name is Kwame. A private chef.
Okay, a la private.
I have a boutique catering business called Fishville.
Okay.
Which started off as a more like a pop-up business.
Okay.
And then gradually graduated into a boutique catering business.
Okay.
And under that boutique catering business, one of the services I offered was a private chef service.
Okay.
Which basically became the money-making service of the business. So I separated into a different company.
Okay.
Called the private chef company.
Called the private chef company.
Yes.
So essentially, what does Bishville do now?
So Bishville mainly does bigger catering.
Bigger catering,
services.
events.
Yes,
Okay.
events. Private chef company is mainly
more
for
clientele,
smaller intimate groups, and
Okay.
also you can hire a chef to your home to cater for dinner, lunch,
Okay.
breakfast. You can hire a chef for the boardroom if you have a business meeting. You can hire a chef for a vacation if you are traveling.
Okay.
So under private chef company, there's quite a number of services that we offer as well.
Okay, that's amazing. Have you always wanted to do this? So now we want to get to know, before we get into your personal life, we want like your journey. How did Kwame get here? Because I know even besides the private chef company, you have the Ugly Chef restaurant. You know, you have so many where we are today.
I make.
Where we are today, you know. So did you always want to do this like as a kid, or like where did this Kwame come from?
I think at a very early stage, I knew I would do something related to food.
Okay.
Just by virtue of my relationship with my mom.
Okay.
And the fact that I was the closest to her
Aww.
and stayed in the kitchen with her all the time.
Right.
But I didn't think it would be me doing the cooking. I thought I would open a restaurant or like food blogging, something related to food, but not necessarily cook. But then the conversation of finance becomes a thing. If you want to start something, you obviously need a finance.
Yes.
So I decided to enter the kitchen myself.
Okay.
But it took a lot of learning as well. So for my mom, as well as YouTube and like, you know, just going online and looking at the kind of things that I wanted to do at that time, or the things that I felt like would bring me the revenue that I needed to kickstart a restaurant or whatever it was. That the ultimate goals. Now the vision has changed, but the aim, the main goal was to open a restaurant or to do something in the food sector.
You know, and Ghanaian parents is always doctor, lawyer, engineer. So how did how did your parents take you like now entering the kitchen? I'm sure they were like, hey, because I mean, we wonder a little bit about, I know you, but I want you to tell them.
Yeah.
I know you went to tech. So what did you study in tech, and then that translating to the cooking and how your parents felt about it? What was all that about?
A lot of people don't know, but I left tech at some point. But I finished my uni education somewhere else, right? And I think even till today, my mom still is on me about
she's very
furthering my education.
Education-wise.
I remember when I was in my third year, I started a business in my second year. In my third year, my mom was on me like,
yes,
why don't you...
We've sent you to school, you're doing business. Focus on your
your
books.
Why don't you concentrate on finishing the school and then... But one funny thing was, the most important thing I learned when I started my business in school was time management.
Okay.
So my grades even got better.
Hey.
When...
Cool.
My grades got better when I started my business because now it was... I needed to apportion time for steady, just so I could have
time for
enough
cooking.
time to cater for my clients. So when I finished uni, then I dedicated my whole time to
doing that. And I mean, realistically, people want to know, if you're going to do something like that, what is the capital involved? Did you just start with like one pot, one knife, one chopping board? You know,
I think the kind of world that we are in now, you know, finance is obviously very important, but I think given the kind of opportunities that are available now, finance, I don't know how to say this not to sound
every way you want to sound.
So for me, this is candid. I don't think now starting a lot of businesses is capital intensive. I think you can always start from somewhere. So for me, how I launched my business was I invited a group of people who I felt were influential at that time. And in the comfort of my brother's apartment, I invited them into the space. And I used my monthly allowance for school, which I had gathered for like a couple of months, to buy the ingredients, to buy the crockery I needed, all of those things, to rent, do the decor, rent, all those things. So for me, that was my startup capital. But it wasn't.
But it's not going to be like
that. It was like $100 at that time. Like, you understand? So I think now, given like social media, the platforms that we have now, the fact that you don't need to have a physical shop to sell groceries.
It's funny you say that, because a number of the people I've spoken to are very much big on, you need an address. People need to know where to find you. But now you're saying the opposite.
No, I think, look at a lot of businesses that we have now that are sprouting.
Online, Instagram.
Yeah, it's more online based, right? And in the comfort of the person's home, he has the products. You book online or you buy online, they ship it to you, right? But it's important for a business to also have an address when you are scaling. So when a business is growing, that's one of the things that a business should consider.
So I'm going to cut you there. You just mentioned scaling. Are you into products as well? Is there a product to your name apart from the service that you offer? Are you going into providing a product anytime soon?
Yes.
Do you provide a product?
So I provide a product.
So, do you want to tell us about it? See what I did there?
You know, when I started cooking, there was one thing that was very interesting. My clients always asked, like, what kind of spices, what kind of sauces I used. And I think that pushed me into researching into products. So by the grace of God, Baseville has been able to come up with a product, which is also a separate business on its own, which is called Tonwo. And
what does Tonwo mean? What language is it?
It's Guan. My mom's language for ekwapim. My mom's language for spice.
Oh, nice.
So basically, Tonwo provides a wide variety of pepper sauces, as well as dry spices, and then marinades. So now we've only released the pepper sauces. In a few months, the dry spices will
follow. That's amazing. So then they also feature in like your service and that.
Yes. So and the patronage for Tonwo has been amazing.
I love that for you.
Especially for people outside the country.
Okay, so tell us more about that, because by the looks of things, you're not only based in Ghana. So
based in Ghana, please.
From when? Hello. So from when you started in school to how you've projected now, how has the growth been? Like, what are you doing now? And you took yourself, you said private chef for if you are traveling. I heard it.
Obviously, there's been a significant growth, and I think it's important that every business grows.
Has to grow.
We started off as a business that saw the vision was quite limited when we started because of the unavailability of resources to scale, right? And because the business is growing, we've been able to grow as well, right? So I think just a few years ago, people started asking for services outside of the country, where it's like people are traveling with their family and they wanted a particular service. Some people just book you to go because they want to wake up to a big spread.
Sounds like my party.
Breakfast and like, you know, and also like by virtue of the fact that you leave the country and you cater for people.
Yes.
The client that took you friends or guests.
Yes, get
to know you, and they recommend you to people there. So sometimes they fly you out for catering opportunities as well, or private chef opportunities as well.
That's amazing.
But mainly the main project that I've been working on that's taking me back and forth is one, the spice, and then also a taste of Africa, which is a new series that I started, which highlights the importance of the African cuisine and the African food.
Because I think African cuisine is very much looked down upon. People have the wrong idea about it. It's smelly, it's not aesthetic.
So let me tell you the reason why.
Yeah.
So, there's in the lifespan of civilization, there's always been specific cuisines that have dominated.
Yeah.
Asian cuisine,
definitely.
American,
definitely.
Italian, European cuisine, right?
Yeah.
But if you realize or you look closely, all these cuisines take inspiration from the African cuisine. Right. When I say inspiration, all the raw ingredients come from Africa.
So then you are not more the cooking process. You are more the foundation.
I am the cooking process. But the thing is, the potential of the African cuisine has been relegated to the background, mainly because of one, the presentation of our food. It's not the best, right? And then also the fact that because it has been presented in such a bad way, it doesn't sell to the outside.
The PR is bad.
To the outside market.
Yeah.
Right? So based on those things, the potential has been relegated to the background. So my vision is to throw more light and represent the African cuisine. Okay. Not only by focusing on our indigenous meals, but by adding African flavors to
other meals,
cuisine.
so like Afrofusion.
Just to introduce the palate to people. And once they understand the palate, we can now push the real indigenous cuisine.
I love that. That's amazing. You've done Taste of Africa in the UK. Are there any other continents or countries that you're looking at doing it in? Fill us in. So if I can catch the next one, Abio.
So the first one was done in London.
Okay.
The second one was done in Lagos.
Okay.
The third one, which is this month.
Oh, look, you see? I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss it.
Going back to London.
Going back to London,
and then in the span of between now and the end of October.
Okay.
There'll be a number.
He doesn't want to get ahead of himself.
I don't want to say which cities, but just
we should open our eyes.
It's coming to
Keep a lookout.
It's coming to a city near you.
Okay, so when you do all this traveling, do you go alone? Do you have an assistant? Do you take any staff with you?
Are you talking in regards to if I'm booked by a client from here to go?
Yes.
Yes, it depends. Okay. So it depends on the
capacity of the clientele. Okay.
So if it's just a family of anything less than 10, it's just me.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And people also specifically book because they want me to go.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
But if it's more, then I need I either source help from
locally over there. Okay.
Or I take an assistant.
All right. And no girlfriend?
No.
Wait, no. But that no was too strong. What's going on?
On the Lord.
Don't kill me. But I mean, the way you're talking.
If you asked me a few weeks ago.
Oh.
Maybe a few weeks ago, yes. But now.
Oh, so who has chopped breakfast?
Nobody has chopped breakfast.
No, the way he's hardworking. He said, God willing, that's a God-fearing man. You're wearing a very nice, is it what is this? Is this khaki?
Don't worry about it.
I don't even know what color this is.
Don't
it's
worry
like French
about
vanilla. It. No girlfriend.
No.
Is it the word? No, is it the word? Tell us. Yes.
Let me tell you something. See, when you're ready, you go. When you're not, you stay away. Currently,
he's just talking in parables.
Currently, I've accepted I'm not ready.
What's not making you ready?
Oh, I think it's a lot of things. We're dealing with a woman. You need to have time, you need to have patience, you need to have certain qualities. I possess those qualities.
Yeah.
But the only thing is, my vision now is growing my business and you know, growing my relationship.
You're
with
not
brides.
having time. You're not
No, it's not like I'm not having time. It's just right now the focus
it's not the right
is not.
Time. It's not the
know,
focus.
I
Okay.
definitely do want to have a family in the next few years.
Yeah,
If
I was gonna put him on the spot again and ask how old he is, but it's fine.
If I had my own way, by next year I should have been engaged.
Hey.
Right?
But okay, so tell us what's your ideal what's your ideal type of woman? What does the chef?
Hey, Charlie,
what does the chef look for?
I thought
we are just deviating. We are deviating small.
I thought we were
what does the
about...
chef look for? You know, in case there's any, you know, potential. You know, we want to know.
I mean, you know, when it comes, the time comes. But ideally, I would want a woman, a supportive woman,
okay.
A woman who is God-fearing,
okay.
A woman who is hardworking as well, a woman who can hold conversation, a woman who is ambitious, who has a drive. Yeah.
Okay.
I've been praying about it, so when the time comes.
We love a prayerful man.
Of course.
That's right.
Of course.
So now that we are on his personal life, we're going to do 5 things to get to know you. This is before we get into the whole, you know, the industry in Ghana. What does Kwame love to cook?
Rice balls and groundnut.
No. I cannot stand omuto.
Really?
I love groundnut soup, but for the life of me, I can't stand omuto.
Yeah, it's one of the most interesting
Why?
things.
Is there a sentiment to it? Is it nostalgic for you?
I think it was my favorite food when I was a child.
Okay.
And it's just anytime I cook, and you see the process in cooking it, I just like.
You enjoy it,
I enjoy it. Yeah.
What's your go-to dessert?
I'm not really a big dessert fan.
You know what's funny, guys? Kwame, when he first started, I think you did a short video on Nkata cake. Do you guys want to see us make Kwame's Nkata cake? Yes, I think we should actually.
Yeah.
I conveniently have everything to make it today.
I think Nkata cake would be like with ice cream, like a peanut. So, like for instance, make the Nkata cake, beat it down into like crush it, and then like put it on a nice like Italian gelato.
Gelato. Yeah. So for our diasporan audience, it's a peanut brittle.
Yeah,
so
peanut brittle.
A crushed peanut brittle on some gelato.
Yeah.
What's your go-to cocktail? Do you drink alcohol?
I'm not a big drinker.
You make me want to stray further and further away from you. You're not a big desserter. You are not a big drinker. I'm like, okay, why are we friends?
You know, when I'm feeling groovy, I just have a glass of champagne. No, there's a specific drink, right? It's non-alcoholic that the bar guys here make for me. It's the base is grapes. Okay. I request for it every time I'm here. So.
Okay, maybe I'll get to try it today. Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. Okay, what's the 4th thing I was gonna ask you? Now you've totally thrown me off course with this non-drinking thing. Yes, okay, your perfect date. Describe your perfect date. I mean, we know there's no one in the picture now, but what's your perfect date?
My perfect date would obviously be centered on food.
Okay.
But it would.
Are you cooking? Are you eating? Are you picnicking?
It will start off with a drive.
Okay.
Maybe into the mountains, a brie or a croupon, that side.
What a romantic guy, eh?
Yeah, just because I'm a conversation guy, so I like to the way I fuse myself into the mind of a woman is by talking to the woman.
You're kidding me right now.
I'm not joking.
No, I know you're not joking, but I'm enjoying this, seeing the side of you.
Right, I like conversation.
Okay.
So just a long drive, talk, and then basically end up, maybe I can cook or we can go to a nice restaurant and just have a nice dinner.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when Kwame is not cooking or when he's not being a private chef, what does Kwame love to do? Are you a nightlife type of guy? Are you what is your downtime?
No. I'm not a nightlife type of guy anymore.
Anymore. Emphasis on the anymore. Yeah. As of weeks ago, months ago.
I think it's been a long time coming for me. I think even though we have this place, for me, it's important that I make time for if I have a family. I can't wait till I have to make the time. I need to start now.
Practicing now.
I've
Ghanaian man, you not there here? You not there here?
I beg, let them allow me. I'm slowly like, moving
into that
away.
space.
But I like to cook, of course. I like to drive. I like activities like traveling and go-karting, seeing like new place, visiting new restaurants. If anybody's on my Instagram, you know me, I eat very well.
Yes.
So I go to like very nice restaurants.
Yeah.
Not only, just a few days ago, my brothers were bashing me to my mom.
Why?
That when I go, I travel, I go to like all these fancy restaurants.
Yeah, but what's wrong with that?
But for me, I'm more of like, I want to taste everything, open up my palate and like, I'm the type of person who tastes something and want to determine like what ingredients are in.
I'm very much like that too. I love to replicate. Like if I go somewhere, I taste it, immediately my brain is telling me, like what's in this? How can I enjoy this at home? Yeah.
Yeah, creative, so
it happens.
Yeah, so I like to eat out a lot.
Yeah, right? Good for you though. I love that.
Yeah.
Now coming to Ghana, Kwame. So it's funny how you said we are creative. So I do want to put you on the spot with this one because we are in the same industry. Kwame, Ghana doesn't have, or maybe I don't know, maybe I'm speaking out of ignorance, but I feel like the domination for male private chefs, the margin is way larger for female private chefs. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Why? Why do you think that is?
Private chefs. It's just in
chefs
the
in
food
general
industry. It was a female-dominated industry.
Yeah, no, but more on a domestic level.
No, back in the day. Yes, because I feel like every work or profession started domestically, right? So it evolved, naturally. Please, let me be biblical a little bit. When I believe fully that it is the sole responsibility of a man to take care of a woman.
Pray.
Wait. It doesn't mean a woman doesn't have to work.
He's like, stop right there.
Wait. But when, I don't know if your listeners, the Christians will understand me. When Adam and Eve sinned and God came into the garden, he uttered curses on the two of them. He said the woman, the only time you suffer is childbirth. But he said to the man, you suffer to put food on the table.
Work.
So a man is a soldier. You go into the forest, you hunt, you come, you feed your family. It can be applicable to you go to work, you make money, you take care of your family. Right? So I think the evolution of domestic jobs into becoming professional jobs were initiated and spearheaded by men because they wanted to take responsibility to be able to take care of their family. So even the female-dominated domestically cooking became something that men took on board, right? And I think men excelled at it, right? But I know a lot of very good female chefs, private chefs, top level private chefs, right? But I think it's just become a male-dominated.
And forgive me for saying this as well, but I think a little bit of it is, dare I say, sexualized. Like, we love the idea of seeing a man in the kitchen, we love the idea of seeing a man in an apron, but seeing a woman in an apron is just like, okay.
Yeah, but why should it be sexualized?
I see my mom cooking all the time. It's nothing, no big deal.
But why should a man
you asking me, I'm asking you.
Sexualized?
I'm asking you.
Why are you asking me?
Because that's what it is.
I mean, I don't think it should be sexualized.
I think that's what it is. No, I think that's what it is. A lot of people just love the appeal of, I love a man who can cook. I love a man who can cook.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Like when you are on the road. Me, when I see a woman driving, it's admirable. It's just that, like, things that were very, say, male-dominated, gender roles,
yeah,
when it switches to the other gender, it just becomes nice,
admirable.
right?
Okay.
Oh, a man cooking, it sounds interesting because naturally or domestically, it is not. It hasn't been a norm for a man to be in the kitchen. Okay. Let me choose my words before the feminists come at me.
I love that. Is there a chef that you want to work with, an international chef or even a local chef? Is there someone that you've had your eye on that you feel like, I would love to work with this person one day?
When I was starting, I always wanted to work with Chef Selassie.
Yes.
Meduno.
Yes.
I find her very interesting. Her style of cooking. And I always wanted to work with her. I've met her a few times. We've had several conversations.
She's very calm.
We've not had the opportunity to cook, but she was one of the people I'd look up to.
It's funny because she's very, as a person, I find her very Americanized, but she's also very much into like Afrofusion.
She used to work for the UN or something.
African ingredients,
Yeah.
I find that like, very interesting about her.
She's very good. I had one of her meals, Kofi Richman, which was the Kofi Brookman, the roasted plantain, but her take on it, amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
So reenact it for us. Tell us about it.
I think she's the best person to tell me
No, when you had it, what was it? How did you
very
feel?
Interesting to see her pick an item like that and make it a world-class plate, right, or meal. It was just very interesting. Outside of Ghana, there's a chef called, I've been to a few of his restaurants, very good chef. He's called Massimo Bottura. He owns one of the very top restaurants in the world. It's called Osteria Francescana.
I can only guess what cuisine that is.
Italian. Like, correct. Italian cuisine.
Everybody knows Osteria.
So he is one person I actually, when I was starting, maybe like 8 years ago, 8-9 years ago, I sent, because he did a soup kitchen where he feeds like less privileged people. And you know me, I'm into those things. So I messaged him.
It's surprising you haven't spoken on that, but we'll get to that.
I was going to. I messaged him. I sent an email saying I would really love to come and work in a soup kitchen, you know, just to also learn and just have the opportunity to
do the same thing here, maybe.
Yeah, of course.
So you've been UN ambassador for, tell us, I don't want to spill
ambassador for refugees.
Okay.
So I started working with the UN in 2017.
Okay.
And because of how actively I was involved in
community service,
raising the voices of, amplifying the voice of refugees and helping raise funds and support for refugees. In 2020, they appointed me as a Goodwill ambassador. So the main responsibility is to obviously amplify the voices of refugees and help raise funds to solve African refugee issues and then extensively extend to like the global issues.
Kwame, you're an all-rounder. It's almost too good to be true. We would almost say you're perfect.
Please.
We'll reserve small points.
I need like $7 billion.
So on the topic of collaboration, how do you feel about collaboration in Ghana? And I need a brutally honest answer. Tell me from your perspective, what are the culinary problems in Ghana? Because I have a lot of problems. Going somewhere, madam, we don't have it. It's not on the menu. We've run out of it. So is it like a supply and demand thing? Because now I'm talking to you on the other side of the chain, as a restaurant owner, as a chef. I'm just a client. What are some of the biggest problems of the culinary industry in Ghana? I want to know, and I need you to be brutally honest.
So do you want me to take the collaboration first?
No, me, I like everyday problems. So let's talk about the problems, and then we'll talk about collaboration.
I think collaboration is a problem because a lot of us in the industry don't want to work together.
Why?
Let me tell you something. So, for instance, I ship lamb chops, sea bass, seafood, all these things. You can't find them here, right? But if the restaurant owners, all of the industry players were able to come together, we could set up a channel for distribution for all of these things, which is owned by us, supplied by us. They don't want to hear it, right? Even like, I'll give you another important information when I was starting. Tiba, you remember Dedo?
Yeah.
Collaboration. Dedo gave me her space every Monday, right, for me to do my own thing, which was separate from Tiba's brand, right? That kind of opportunity is not being given to the young ones who are coming up anymore, right? And I want people to also understand the relevance and the importance of collaboration. When you collaborate, you mobilize resources. This person brings on board these expertise and capabilities. This person brings on board, fuse it together, and it becomes a much viable business or viable project or whatever. We don't need to start businesses together, but we can work on projects together, right? For instance, a taste of Africa. If I have another chef approaching me to say, oh hey, like I see your direction, West African cuisine, but I want to also look at how we can add East African cuisine, South African cuisine. I'm always open to that conversation. That's one. So collaboration is a problem. Two is the readily service. Two is service, right?
That is my biggest number one thing.
We train our chefs, but we don't train our front end employees, which is the waiter, the barman,
the hostess, even the person answering the phone. They answer the phone like it's their personal line. If I call and it's Luna, and the guy's like, hello, and I'm like, hello, is this Luna? Yes.
So, and I think it's a problem also with human resource must always evolve and must always be developed. Businesses don't invest in development for human resources. They are human resources, so it's a problem. So it's a problem on the employer, a problem on the end of the employee. Because employer is not investing in doing periodic training, development, whatever. Look at front back. I saw they flew all their barmen for
I think it was to Amsterdam, Dubai or somewhere.
They went to Dubai, training, development, right? It even makes the employee feel as part of the business. When they are working, they work from their heart.
With soulful morale.
You understand? But the way we treat our employees, and also employees, they act like the work is not for me. I can't do whatever I want. At the end of the month, I get a salary, I'm gone. Right? Funding in our industry is also very bad. But the major issue now for the food industry or the hospitality industry has been the fall of our currency, the increase in prices of commodities, the exchange rate. Because if you want to ship something into the country, the duty, the taxes you are paying.
And then you're not even motivated to do that.
And then, I'll give you a typical example. Last year, I left Ghana for a while. When I was leaving, so in my kitchen at Ugly Chef, we have a 60-liter fryer, which takes about 3 gallons of oil. We used to purchase a gallon of oil for 230 cedis. This was maybe like March last year. In June, it came up to like 270. When I left, then the cedi started misbehaving. In 2 months after, it was like 800. It was like
times 3 or 4, 3.5 or 4,
4 months after, it was 1,400 cedis for oil. So now I need 1,400 times 3 to fill that. How much can you charge for a burger, or how much can you charge for a burger and
fries? Or onion rings, or
please. So that crashed the food industry. COVID also crashed the food industry in a way where we who have event catering businesses, we were not able to
have events,
host anything, right? So it became also very difficult for you to come back, because now people are used to eating at home or ordering from specific restaurants,
right?
So it just puts the industry, that part of industry.
I want to know one of your worst days as a chef. Like, has there been a day where you just wanted to like crawl in a hole and die? Because I've had a lot since I came. Like,
2 stories.
Ghana. Okay,
2 stories.
Give it to me. Let's go. I have time.
So one time, this was at the early stages of when I started. I had a lot of buzz because I was in the newspapers, I was on Food Network, So there was this very rich man who invited me to his office. Long story short, he wanted to invest.
Okay. The way you're laughing.
We went down on a very rough path. I was highly disappointed in the end.
Why?
The investment didn't happen again.
Oh Oh.
He took me to see this building where it was gonna be my restaurant. It didn't happen again. But
Why? It
ended on a very bad note.
Okay.
So at that time, that's my first experience where I wanted to just
you were just so disappointed.
Open the ground and enter the ground, right?
But why do people do that? Like you promise, you set people up, and then you don't deliver.
You see, a lot of people have ideas but don't have resources to fund their ideas. A lot of people have resources but don't have ideas. So if you are not lucky and they
okay.
Secondly, last year I did one of the hardest jobs I've ever done.
Was it in Ghana?
No, it was in Italy.
Okay.
I was working on a Hollywood set for 5 months.
Okay.
I was the head chef. Well, I was the private chef for the lead actor for a very popular movie, which will come out later this year.
Okay.
And
I hope you guys will be staying after the movie, reading the cast, every single person until you see his name.
No, but I was going for the lead actor. So the lead actor was, I was living with him. And the work was so hard because I had control over his lunch and dinner. He made breakfast himself. But because he needs to stay in the same shape and form for the whole 5 months of shooting, his calories needed to be calculated. So a day he has a specific amount of calories to be consumed. Now, I don't have control of his breakfast. So every morning, him or his assistant will send me what he ate. So maybe 2 sausages, 4 eggs. It's a big guy. So 4 eggs, oatmeal, whatever. Then I will sit down, calculate
mathematician
the calories, and then split it between his lunch and the rest between his lunch and dinner. That wasn't just the difficult part. Secondly, because it was a movie, sometimes the set was, say, 3 hours away. So I have to drive 3 hours away.
You're kidding.
To deliver lunch, come back. As soon as I come back, and start dinner. Because the food always has to be fresh. And then he eats at a very specific time.
Wow.
Then go back.
Wow.
Now, the most difficult part, and the part I wanted to stress on, was I had an accident in the kitchen.
When you say accident?
I had an accident, a very bad accident in the kitchen when I was cooking one of his meals. Boiling hot oil.
No.
Right? But you can't stop. Because
what do you mean? I'm injured.
Yes, and I know, like, even in Italy, the laws when you are injured, when it's a work hazard, you don't have to, like, the work there's a process. But also because, today I'm releasing too much information.
Go ahead.
Also because I was the only one entrusted with his meals. There was no way I could
delegate or relegate or all the H's.
So I couldn't walk. In the end,
I'm just trying to.
Basically, in the end, ambulance came to carry me away because
what?
Even though I was when the thing poured on me, I was making his lunch. So I went to deliver the lunch. Came back. But you see, the problem was I should have gotten it sorted out right there. But the thing was like my leg was boiling, right? Inside.
And you drove.
And I was driving and things. The thing was hurting. So when I started making dinner, that's when I shut down. I couldn't move my leg. So I had to call the ambulance. And that's why Ghana health system is
bola.
They just apply some things for me. I went back, made dinner, drove 2 hours to deliver the food. That period was very, very hard. And I ended up, like I have a scar here that.
Aww. No bikini for you?
Oh no, I still wear shorts.
Oh, come on, give it to them.
My legs are nice.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a very difficult time. It was a very difficult time.
And sometimes when you're abroad doing these things, like there's no family.
No.
You don't have your support
system. My brother at some point came to visit me. He lives in Amsterdam, so he came to visit me at some point when I was there. My leg was it was a very hard time. And also, the last thing I would say is Charlie, it's very hard to, mobilize resources in Ghana. So for instance, there are projects that I want to do. In Ghana, it's almost impossible to find a venture capital where you can get money to do it. Everything must be self-funded. Even the banks. I can simply get a loan to get a car today. But to get a loan to start a business,
it's incredible.
And I think that's something that has been institutionalized. Institutionalized.
Right.
To cripple people from becoming independent. Right. Because a car is a liability. Right. If I can get a loan for a car, why can't I get a loan
for a business?
Or to start a thing? And it's not just in Ghana. If you look at the black Americans they can easily get a loan for liabilities.
Gucci bag, LV purse.
I don't know who wants to go and take a loan to buy a Gucci bag, but then things are not correct.
Line of credit.
But yes, you can get a loan for a car, a flashy car. These black Americans, like a nice Maybach. But the difficulty in getting a loan to start a business
or even own a home. Whenever it's an asset, suddenly the conversation switches.
That's also a big challenge here. I wish there were more people who were open to supporting culinary projects.
So do I. And not even from I'm more of the aspect of not so much restaurants, but in terms of even training, because I do believe it's important. Teaching is a very big passion of mine. I wish there was more we could do, at least even for the training process.
Most
you know what I mean?
So food businesses, culinary businesses here need to focus on training and development of their staff, right? All level staff, kitchen, front end, reception, whatever. And then also training development, all those things must periodically be done, right? Just to also keep the workers updated and also keep them
on point
with a lot of information when it comes to, because sometimes you see Accra, you go to a restaurant, the restaurant has a very big wine menu, but there's no sommelier. You ask, Charlie, this wine,
what does it taste like? What would you recommend?
Can you recommend a dry white wine? Then it's So we need to consider all those things. And because Ghana is slowly becoming a hub for tourism, December's in Accra is just crazy. Because it's becoming a hub for tourism, all these things must seriously be invested in. And we need to be able to do that structured, set and done, so that people will always have a good experience when they come into our establishment.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you for that, and thank you for your time. I'm so off camera. We're gonna talk about that juicy story, but we've enjoyed getting to know you today.
Me too,
we didn't make the cake, but I feel like we should corner him another day
we'll make
so
it
we
one
can
day.
make it. And then get the recipe out there.
Of course.
Good
But
to see you.
I've given a dessert recipe. I said just scoop ice cream into a bowl, make your nkati cake.
How would they arrive at the nkati cake itself?
Go and buy it. Break the nkati cake into crush it.
Don't worry, guys. What Kwame doesn't know is I used to stand him. I was a big fan. I have the recipe. I'll do it for you guys and tag him. So don't worry. They will know how to do it.
Of course.
But thank you.
Thank you also for having me on your prestigious show.
Oh, and,
yes. I'm hoping that
who knows, maybe we'll catch you in Italy.
Once people you kill me. Once people hear the stories, they'll be able to be inspired to also start their culinary journeys, or people will be motivated to basically
do better,
be able to sustain and scale their businesses. Right?
Thank you. Absolutely. All right, man, let's go eat. Yeah? Okay.